Hello, everyone. Welcome to this A Guide for Your 20s Q&A session with myself, Jack Revell. Today, we're going to be answering the question of how to enjoy your life. And before we get into that, let me just tell you a bit about who I am. So my name is Jack Revell, and I'm a confidence coach. I work in the space of video marketing. I work in the space of helping people improve their businesses and overall life. And my slogan is to live your life by design and not by default. And so today I'm going to answer this question: how to enjoy your life. You know, it's such a big question, but what I'm going to do is break it down into the things that I think you need to know in order to be able to have the best possible life. So let's start with the first one. First one's balance, right? We talk about balance all the time. We hear this word thrown around a lot, but what does it actually mean? Balance is essentially having a great balance between work and play. Okay. Your work is what brings in the money. It's what brings in your satisfaction. It's what gets you, your purpose and all that sort of thing. It's important to have some of that in your life, because otherwise you feel like you're just doing nothing, right? So you've got to have that. But if you have too much of that, then you feel like you can't actually, move yourself into a place where you're enjoying that work and actually reaping the benefits of what you're doing. So it's important to have that work-life balance as well. So I'm talking about having hobbies, seeing your friends and your family, going on regular breaks and holidays, and having that balance. And if you look at that on a week-to-week basis, it's making sure that you block out that time in your diary to do the things that you want to do, just as much the things that you need to do. Okay. So what I mean by that is maybe having an hour in the morning where you do your exercise, or you meditate, or you journal, or maybe in the evening if that's better for you, but making sure you block that time out first, because that's more important than actually having your work in that first place. Remember that you are your number one asset. So if you're not in a good place, you're not going to get much out of you for other things. So balance is a really important one. Opportunities, a really, really good one, right? If you are open to opportunities, it's incredible what can come your way, right? When you find yourself in a position where people are coming at you and asking you questions, and you're putting yourself out there into the world, there's things that will happen to you, and it's amazing if you just open yourself up, what can come in as a result. So always be open to opportunities, and never say no. I think that when I was in my 20s, I don't think I said no at all. I think I said yes to everything. Some were great decisions, others maybe not so, but it left me in a great position at the end of it. So opportunities is another great one to live a great life. Follow your heart over your head. This is it sounds like something coming from an old man in his armchair, but it's true. You should always follow your heart, because if you're heart-led, then you'll make sure that you make the decisions based on your decisions, not somebody else's. Okay. Money can always be made, and, things can always happen, and whatever, all those things in life that you're meant to do, but do what you want to do. Okay. And that's going to be really important for you getting the most out of life, because you'll be able to really do the things that you're passionate about if you follow your heart and not your head. I would recommend, if you're in your 20s, to try 10 different jobs for a year than one job for 10 years. This just gives you a world of experience in many different industries, right? And gives you an opportunity to test things out. When you're in your 20s, you don't really need to have things figured out, right? I thought you did, and everyone will tell you that you do, but you don't. You don't have to have anything figured out. You just have to try things, experiment, give things a go, see how things get on, and just put yourself out there. So yeah, try 10 different things instead of one, and you will find yourself a much more worldly person as a result. And the last thing I'm going to tell you about is starting with the end in mind, right? If you have a goal or a vision or a passion that you want to get to, always make sure you're looking at that as the end result and then working backwards from there. It's very easy to sort of say, yes, I want to make $1 million, or I want to be this successful, this famous, or whatever. But how do you actually get there, right? Start with the end in mind, where you want to get to and what you want to do, and then just look at what you need to do in order to get there, and break it down to the smallest possible steps that you can think of. And if there's 1 million steps, there's 1 million steps, but at least you know the steps you need to take, right? If you try and take it in one big leap, it gets overwhelming and it never happens. So make sure you always start with the sense and end in mind. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is one of my personal and mantras that I live by, which is consistency plus commitment equals change. So if you are consistently committing to yourself, you will change as a result. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A about how to enjoy your life. And my name's been Jack Revell. And if you want to learn a little bit more about who I am and what I do, you can find me at www.jackwrevell.com, which is my personal website, or you can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I'm open to coaching. I do group and single coaching, and I'm open to helping those that really want to take their life into the next level and then push themselves outside of their comfort zone and really stretch themselves to the next level. Thanks so much for being here.